Tepu, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Haru Nefer. This is Qesankh Ma Keperu with another exciting video for you. And in this video, we're going to be talking about what will your freedom cost? And remember, I am reporting from Cartagena, Colombia. But before I go into the topic of today, I want you to hit that like button. Don't forget. And if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications on when I go live and when I upload recorded videos. And if you're interested in knowing more about my spiritual teachings, you can scroll down below. There are 4 links to ebooks. You can click on those links and download the ebooks today. They are free and you can start reading. However, if you want to follow that rabbit down the rabbit hole and get deeper, you can become a Patreon supporter for as little as $1, $5, or $20 per month. It's up to you. You can cancel it anytime, and you'll get exclusive access to instructional videos on the esoteric, videos that'll teach you how to meditate, proper breathing exercises that are really helpful to calm your spirit, how to astro project, how to invoke a spirit for your protection, how to do a money ritual, how to put together a magical amulet, tongue twister there. And if you are an Asera level supporter, you'll get all your oracle readings for free. So become a Patreon supporter today. Last but not least, share Haru Nefer. Sorry about that connection issue. I'm using a different computer. My other computer went down. I was drinking the energy drink and I spilled it all over the keyboard. And so now it doesn't work. But I got a backup computer, which I'm using here. So as I said before at the beginning, I'm reporting to you from Cartagena, Colombia, and it has been wonderful. The hotel has been wonderful. I did an oracle reading on if I should come to this hotel or not, and Oracle's like, yes, that'll be a great hotel for you. And it's just fabulous. I'm downstairs in the lobby working on my computer, sitting down there, and I was eating a snack and I was kind of thirsty. And then along comes, I think, one of the bellhops or the concierge, and he says, sir, would you like some water? I said, yes, that would be great. He brings me some water so I don't have to get up and go to the bar. So that was very, very nice of him. And those little things make a difference, you know. Another instance where I was getting ready to go upstairs. I had a little cup of coffee, and I heard the waiter in the restaurant here call out and said, sir. And he ran up to me and he gave me a spoon. I was like, oh, thank you so much, you know. So those little things really make a big difference. I remember I was working with a startup company, and it was a great woman named Dina Vershskaya from Russia. She had created this company, and she recommended a book called From Good to Great, which kind of outlines a similar principle about taking your company and making it great, you know. Now, speaking on that, I was on a conference call the other day, well, actually yesterday, and on this call were really big CEOs of this company. And they were talking about their projections for next year is to make 500 million. So that's their goal. And they were talking about the vision for the company, what they want to do. Now, I'm their project manager, so I'm going to be instituting their plan. They're going to come together, the CFO, the CTO, HR, the president, and they're going to put together a strategy plan. And then I'm going to work with hiring the people to implement that plan as a project manager. But one of the things I've always set my sights on, whereas no matter my lot in life, I want more. I want to go for more. I'm never going to be happy with my station in life, because if I'm making 200,000, I want to make 250,000 or 300,000. If I'm making 300,000, I want to make 400,000. This is just the way I am. When I was working as a recruiter, I would buy these books on the top recruiters in the field. And I read how they did their thing and what they did to make them successful. And it was during that period that I saw that I could make a lot more money if I get into tech. And I moved into the tech field. And the transition wasn't easy, but I was able to survive it and thrive. But most people you see around you in your life are never going to want more. They're never going to want more. They're going to be happy with whatever they have, yet complain about their situation and not having more. And you must understand that going for more comes with a cost. But the rewards will far outweigh the pain and suffering you may go through to get there. One of the things is you can look at Samuel Jackson, one of the top actors, B plus or A actors, however you want to call it. When you go back and look at his career, he started out in menial roles, extras, one-liners, and he moved himself up to now making millions and millions of dollars in Marvel films. How do you do that? You do that first and foremost by saying, I am not going to become complacent. I'm not going to be happy with my station in life. I want more. That is the first thing you have to do, and that's where most people fail. I know, because I operate the 6-figure PM program. And a lot of people who enter that program aren't serious. And the ones that are serious do graduate the program and do make 6 figures. But the ones who aren't serious will take a couple of classes and then they drop out. Now I'm going to get into touchy subjects here, because a lot of Black people are lazy. I can say that a lot about the Latinos and as well. See, I lived in the South Bronx, and I remember going to this coffee shop every morning to get some coffee before I started my day. And there was a young Latina there, and she was very, very pretty. And her and I would flirt and we would talk. And I remember this guy, this older guy, who always sat there drinking coffee every morning. And he was like, hey, son, why don't you ask her out? And I said to myself, well, I said to him, actually, she has no ambition. She's the type of woman who's comfortable staying in the South Bronx and raising a family. And lo and behold, I traveled for a while, came back 2 months later to find that she was pregnant. And I knew at my confirmation I was right. Because most people will not plan that out. They don't say, listen, we're going to get a house, then we'll have a baby, I have a very secure job. They just do things and accept the way things are. And the worst part about it is they go along with the customs that their culture has been indoctrinated into, which is dysfunctional. See, what you see around you in terms of the Black culture or the Hispanic culture or Dominican culture, it's socially engineered to be that way. If you're living in projects, that's a social engineering experience that started out in Europe, and it was created in such a way as to cause tension, strife. I mean, when you have people compacted together like that and living in such close proximity, what do you think is going to happen? And then you introduce drugs and, and um, you know, asking and after on the wrist. For asking that question, meaning they were asked, she asked the question of, like, well, the question was in pertaining to who that I had to say something, that I had to speak. So they knew two things. Number one, I had an A-type personality and I was alpha male. So I said something and I crafted it in such a way to know it would be a safe thing to put out there. And they really liked what I had to say. And that gave me, or I should say, put me on their radar. So don't think for a minute that if you want to become a broker on Wall Street, to own your own business, let me explain something. A t-shirt company, a hair company, those are not real businesses because those are not essential businesses we need to progress our communities. You see, where we're putting t-shirts together and hair extensions, weaves, selling them, or have a barber shop, they're improving on fiber optics. They're coming up with new satellite technology that can image you inside your home holding a number 2 pencil. Those are real businesses. They're coming up with robots that can build houses on Mars. This is for real now. And you're talking about getting into this market and raking in billions of dollars off t-shirts. Are you, let's get serious, guys. But let me get back because I digress. To elevate yourself, there's going to be a cost. And it's all about, are you willing to pay that price? Not if the opportunity is there, because there are a myriad of different opportunities out there. But it's going to be about if you're willing to pay the cost. I told people in my 6-figure PM program, all you got to do is come to class and pass the final exam, and we will place you in a job. And people found that most difficult to do. Well, if that's difficult, then I'm sorry. Because when I learned to be a digital PM, there was no literature on that. There was no college courses on that. I literally had to order special books to read up on the subject. There was no books printed on how to be a digital project manager. Now you can find a course, and now I'm teaching the course. But most people are not early adopters. Or early, what's it called? Early adapters. They may see a shift in the paradigm of a business or a field and not take advantage of that. They only do so when another person has paved the way, and then they jump in and just or saturate the market to where no one makes any money. No one was thinking about being a dating coach until Kevin Samuels came out and proved that there was a viable market, and everybody now switches the channel to talk about dating. So you have the saturation of the market. No one wins in that case. You understand? Jeff Bezos saw a paradigm shift to where the internet bubble burst, but you could still make money by shopping for books online. Netflix saw a paradigm shift that people would eventually get tired of coming to a physical brick and mortar location to get videos, and they could easily order them through the mail and then eventually stream them. But Blockbuster didn't see that until it was too late. Where is Blockbuster right now? I said to myself, here's an opportunity to advance my position within the company by simply speaking up. But not many people will do that. They'll be quiet and play it safe for fear of ridicule and what they might say. They don't even think about the idea of saying something that's an innocuous statement. Just say something that's an innocuous statement, and at least you'll be on the radar now, which builds faith and confidence within you. In my PM program, I talk about the most important things is being social. That's advantageous to your promotion, because it's a soft skill that is valued within that field. And the problem with, and I'm not promoting socialism here, but the problem is we have too much government assistance, which creates complacency. My friend, she told me, you should go to the Soviet Union. Take a trip there. If you're going all around the world, take a trip to the Soviet Union. She goes, there's no welfare in the Soviet Union. So people have to make it on their own. And the reason why a lot of people who come from foreign countries, especially like Africa, Jamaica, the islands, and they do well in this country, is because in their native land, there was no government assistance or support. So they're not used to being complacent, but we're complacent here. And the government knows that. Caesar says, give them bread and wine, and they will not, and entertainment, and they will not rebel. So they're giving you your Kanye West, your Nicki Minaj, all these sports figures, and you get so wrapped up in all of the entertainment and all this, you're not thinking about the condition of your people and your condition. We speak about racism, and yet these fools on the internet do nothing. You know what they're doing? Just do a research on YouTube and just type in keywords, and you're going to see these videos that come up by Black and brown people of dating, of entertainment news. Very little on liberation. And the liberation that they speak about really harkens to Dr. King and Malcolm X. Nothing new. We're not creating networks or incels that will help our advancement in this country. We're not organizing online. We're not using the internet in the right way as to come together as a mass to organize, to fight for our rights. No, we're creating channels of entertainment, gossip, sports, and relationships. You are not worthy of being free. And I'm sorry to tell you that. You're not worthy to be free. Freedom is reserved for those willing to pay the price. That's who it's reserved for. It's not reserved for you who have a channel on relationships or a channel on celebrity gossip or a channel on sports. It's not reserved for you because you're doing nothing. Can you imagine what Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam could have done with the power of the internet? Can you imagine what Marcus Garvey would have done with the power of the internet? They didn't have this back then, and yet Garvey created UNIA, a global organization. But what are you doing? Celebrity gossip, sports, relationship, movies. You're a bunch of idiots. And I'm speaking to you from the voice of Tahuti, God's wisdom. You are out of alignment with the universe. Again, freedom is reserved for those willing to pay the price. And you're not willing to pay the price. You have continually demonstrated that all you care about and are wrapped up about is about collecting the government subsidy, your stimulus check, your EBT card or whatever, and you're not looking at the fact that there is opportunity there for you to advance. I had a good friend come and show me how to do a money ritual. It was very elaborate. And I'm like, wow, man, I got a lot of candles and this and do all this. He goes, yeah, you got to do all this for 7 days at least, preferably 30 days. I said, really? He goes, yeah, but what did you expect? If you want abundance, you got to do the work. And he's right. I hate doing elaborate rituals, but I love getting money. So I'm going to do the elaborate ritual. But then when I reap the benefits of that, and I can testify that the ritual works, and I pass it on to friends and family members, they don't do it. Because we've become lazy and complacent. And that's never going to happen. We want one person to lead us when it takes a collective effort. Right. There's no new Malcolm X that's going to come out or Marcus Garvey. The ruling elite has socially engineered it so that that's not going to happen because you know why? They are dumbing down the Black community. They have purposely created a culture of ignorance and decadence. You Black women are out there talking about how you're the most educated, you're killing the game and all this. Yet your boys, your children who came out of your womb can't read on the level of 8th grade. Why is that? %80 of these young boys can't read on grade level. Are you not reading to them when they come home? Do you have a library in your house? Because you should. I know that you have a library of films, of movies, but do you have a library, a room dedicated with just books? On my last broadcast, I talked about when I met Dr. John Henry Clark. I was in his library, and it was wall-to-wall books. You're not worthy of freedom. You are oppressed, and you need to be oppressed. Because that freedom is going to be reserved for the talented 10th. Those 10% willing to give blood, sweat, and tears to get out of the condition they're in now. You could have had reparations a long time ago. Why are you now only getting on the bandwagon? You're not worthy of freedom because you're not willing to pay the price. So stop asking for the police to treat you fairly. Stop asking for corporate America not to discriminate against you, because they should. Now I'm going to take an unpopular position. There's a young woman named Shaquila who went on a vacation to Mexico with some friends and ended up dead. And I don't know what her friend was named, Antonisa or whatever. But I don't care, you know, if she ended up dead. It was said that her friends beat her up, then lied to her mother saying that she died from alcohol poisoning. I don't care. I mean, I hope her friends get locked up in jail. I hope justice is served. But let me tell you something about Shaquila, or Shandinista, whatever her name is. Not disrespecting her, because she didn't ask for what happened. But here it is. Malcolm said it once, the chickens come home to roost. And I say, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Here's what I mean by that. If you women are going to name your children these ridiculously stupid ghetto names, Shakira, then that's going to cause them to have a particular destiny. That's going to affect their entire life. Lucky, Deshaun, something, Chantella. Name your child after a Kemetic god or goddess, or a proper Kemetic name or a proper African name that will venerate the ancestors, celebrate. Don't name them these ridiculous things, because what's going to happen when they put their name on a resume and that resume goes before someone in corporate America, they're going to rip it up. But here's the point I want to make. If you're naming your child Sequila or whatever, who do you think she's going to associate with? Other women who are similar in mindset, Shakisha, Bonifa. I'm not making fun. I'm speaking truth here. So she's going to be in that circle of friendship of the most ignorant and ghetto-minded people. And when you are in that circle, what do you think happens? Because you have a culture, I said this for many, many years, that is corrupt. The Black community culture is corrupt to the core. It's not even a Black culture. So you're going to have fighting. You're going to have drugs. You're going to have murder. You're going to have death. So naming your child something like that, and she was a beautiful woman. And ironically, she went to college and college educated, from what I understand, but you can't take that ghetto out of a person with that name. That name will determine their destiny, their future. So she ends up dead because she was not smart enough to know that you don't run in the circles of certain people with certain ideology. You'll never see me hanging out with a Shaquilla. And if I did, the first thing I would tell her is, look, you got to change your name, because I'm not calling you that name. That name already has an herbivore or a pendulum attached to it. Your destiny is sealed. So she ends up dead because these trash, no good friends of hers beat her to death. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. You call yourself a ghetto name, don't expect you to rise above your situation. In ancient Kemet, it was not uncommon for the people to change their names when they reach a certain stature in life. If she had got a college degree, why didn't she change her name? One that would afford her opportunities in, yes, the white world. Some of you may argue with me, why should she have to change her name for the white man? No, she's not changing her name just for the white man. She's changing her name because the name that she's got is stupid. It has no meaning, has no power behind it. It's just a conjunction of different ideas thrown together that sound interesting. But the history of people with those names can be traced back to the ghetto experience. If you name yourself Hatshepsut, the history of that name goes back to royalty. You see the difference? And then you honor the queen Hatshepsut, and then she will bestow blessings upon you from the inner planes. If you are so Black and Afrocentric, why not name yourself that? Yes, you can, but they already, those names have meanings already. So you're not going to come along and take a name like Shaquita or Shakisha and infuse a positive energy behind that, because it already belongs to the herbivore. The herbivore is controlling the names, people with names like that, and their destinies. Just like it's not a good idea for you to go calling yourself Muhammad. You make people nervous when you get on a plane. You get my point. Ask yourself, are you willing to pay the cost to be free? Have a discussion with yourself about this. I said to myself, and I was even talking to my friend, he's Korean. I said, I want a beautiful, beautiful wife who is intelligent, who's loving and caring, and who makes a great mother. And I will not settle for less. So then you ever think, well, what will it take for you to get there? I may have to relocate. I may have to work on some of my character flaws. Am I willing to do that? Yes. I'm willing to pay the price to get there. What do I need to make $300,000 a year? I may have to get into an entirely new field and start studying. Are you willing to pay that price? And if you want to be free from racism and oppression, you're going to have to say, well, it's going to involve me doing inner work to become God, to tap into my God power. Am I willing to do that? See, my destiny is Ma'at. And along with Ma'at comes abundance in every way, shape, or form. But God says you must live truth. Am I willing to do that? Nothing is free. And you're right, nothing comes without sacrifice. This is why in our rituals we would have sacrifice. They weren't always animal sacrifices or human sacrifices. Sometimes we would come to the ritual and say, I give up my animal spirit, meaning you give up being emotional because you're too emotional. You're socially engineered and programmed to be emotional, to be triggered. Black people are. I'm sorry. You are not who you think you are. Let me say it again. Black people are programs. You are socially engineered. When I look at Muhammad X or Muhammad this, Muhammad that from Nation Islam, and they're talking, they're robots, they're clones, because every one of them mimics Louis Farrakhan. They sound like Louis Farrakhan. Their gestures are like Louis Farrakhan. Why? Because they admire him so much that they emulate him in every way, shape, or form. Thus, they don't become individuals. They become part of a collective system. Not saying it's bad or good. They have given up their individuality in order to emulate what they believe is a man of righteousness, a man of power, Louis Farrakhan. In the same way that if I want to achieve and have God's power here on earth, I would emulate Osir or Heru. If I wanted to have supreme wisdom, I would emulate Tahuti. If I wanted to have massive spiritual power, I would emulate Sekert. You get my point. But there would be a sacrifice involved. If I wanted to be an actor, I would have to give up everything and move to LA. You have to pay that price. If you want to be free from oppression and racism, you have to make that paramount. You have to make that top of your agenda in life. That must be what you believe in. If you go to the Middle East and you see the Muslims, Islam is really heavily promoted, and it's about Islam. Everything, so much that they're praying 5 times a day. So if we want to be free as Black people here in North America, what has to be paramount is our freedom. We cannot think about celebrity gossip, rap music, sports. No, it has to be about our freedom. Go to any young Black man on the street, and what does he want to do? He wants to be a rapper. No. You should say, I want to be free. I want to be free. And the mothers should be raising their children with the idea of, you're going to be fighting for freedom, my son, my daughter. Secondary to that, you can be a scientist, you can be a baker, you can be an accountant. But the first thing is, your goal is to be free. And with that is a price that means that everything that you do in your life is focused on that goal. That's what Haru is about. He is a hawk who's focused on the objective. He doesn't see outside of his peripheral. Nothing creeps into his gaze but the prey. This is why in Christianity, they teach you to be a Jesus freak, because all you talk about is Jesus, 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 Jesus. You're myopic from your perspective. But that's what you have to be to get your freedom, very myopic in your day. Think nothing of anything else but your freedom. And then along with that, everything else will fall into place. Collective agreements, working together with other people to liberate yourself, organizing, all that will naturally fall into place if you are willing to pay that price to focus on your freedom. But you have not made that determination. You have not made that agreement. You have not declared that that is the most important thing in your life, is your freedom. You have forsaken that for other trivial things. God set you up and you're failing the test. You are reincarnated into this existence with the idea that you will go through these obstacles called oppression, slavery, racism, that you will go through these obstacles to awaken the God within you. Meaning that where there is no, how should I say this? The pressure is applied to you so that you can grow spiritually. The pressure of racism is applied to you to awaken your consciousness to who you truly are. The Illuminati exists so that you realize, I must turn inward and be God man or God woman, or else I'll never overcome the Illuminati. And when you look at the TV and you see your Bill Gates and your Elon Musk, they are reminders of what you could achieve in terms of financial prosperity if you awaken the God within you. But what is the cost of that? I am an overachiever. If I wake up and I don't have a goal set, I have an anxiety attack. I seriously do. I wake up every morning thinking, what is the objective of today? And if I don't have an objective, I have to take a pill just to calm me down. because I'm a workaholic. I've got to have an objective. I've got to be working towards something. And I don't understand how people can wake up and not have an objective and just linger on. Every hour of the day, I got to be working on something. I just can't sit there. In project management, I do best when I'm busy. If you get a moment, please donate to the channel and don't forget to hit the like button. But some people can drift through life like that. I mean, more power to you, but I can't do that. I had to make the decision, listen, I want to travel through different countries and meet different people. Make a lot of babies in these different countries with their nice, beautiful ladies. But I digress. And if I don't have an objective, I will manufacture one just to keep me busy. Let me explain something to you. And this is a good point you bring up. We have gotten so comfortable. It's like we have forgotten what freedom is. This is not freedom. That's a good point. The existence that you're living now is not freedom. You think it is, and the established order has convinced you that it is, but it's not. Just like people go voting every 4 years for a president and only have two choices. And they think they have the freedom to pick their elected officials. Two choices is no choice at all. That's not freedom. Just like they think they convinced you that you want to live in a democracy. No, you don't. You don't want to live in a democracy. You want a republic that is ruled by the people. But you don't know these things. The same way that you don't know that you have the power to manifest things in your life. You can manifest things. But because you've been robbed of that knowledge, and you only rely on the physical, the left brain, you think you're free. You're okay with things. You are supposed to be moving mountains with your mind. Our ancestors built the pyramids with limestone on the top. Moving those gigantic stones because they have reached the zenith of civilization, the zenith of technology. So you think that you're free now? You're not. You see, let me explain to you. While you're making your little t-shirts, your little caps, and you think you've got a business, freedom to me would be, listen, I want to compete against Elon Musk. I want to be building satellites to go to Jupiter. I want to be making flying cars. But you see, they've locked those industries off to me. I can't get into those industries because they're closed off to me due to racism. I want to be the head of Sony. They will never do that. They've locked that off. You think you have freedom? Try walking to a construction site and say, listen, I'm your new CEO, and see what the Italian mob does. You're not free. A black woman, I want you to go before the world and say, I'm the epitome of beauty. I am the model, the beauty standard, and watch you get laughed at. And white women would be like, oh, excuse me, we are the epitome of beauty. Yeah, I'm being a bit hyperbolic, but I'm speaking truth. You're not free. Oh, yeah, we can tour and go country to country, but we're still going to be subject to a certain degree of racism. Because in those countries, even though they may be all black, like in Brazil, they still discriminate against you in terms of how much of the shade of black you have. Are you yellow? Are you brown? Are you dark blue black? What are you? But see, when you awaken the power of God within you, you don't have to worry about all that stuff because you're doing righteousness. You see, you have a resonance field around you that operates through vibration, harmonic sounds. That when you operate at a certain frequency, that frequency permeates outwards. It starts affecting everybody. And they come into alignment with you. And you attract the help that you need. Hey, thanks for asking. They are at an animal center. They're being housed there. Because when I go on my trips, they can't come with me. So I pay for them to be put up at an animal center. They get nice, they get taken care of rather nice. They get groomed, they get fed, they love it. So thanks for asking. Just like in a way I feel sad for my furs because I have to put them in a cage. And even though I let them run around for about 6 hours a day freely in my room, they're still not free. They have to operate within the confines of my room and their cage. They're not free creatures. And you're not free when you haven't come into the realization of the power you really have. And you're not willing to pay the price. We will all be free of this sick culture, this sick ruling elite, when we're willing to pay the price. Sometimes the price is death. A lot of us are going to have to give our lives. And sometimes the price is just going through the war and coming back a bit scarred. But there will be some type of price you'll have to pay. But what you'll get will far exceed what you paid for. There's an old business saying is that, what does it go? You over deliver, and this makes sure the customer's happy. Don't promise a lot, but over deliver, and you'll keep them coming back. So the final analysis, take an audit of what you're doing and ask yourself, am I fulfilling my objective? Am I on the right course? Am I paying the price? And I'm sorry to say that freedom is not, if you're black or brown or what have you, and freedom is not top of mind, then you're not doing the right thing. You're acting selfishly, in a sense. My parents used to ask me, my brother, my cousins, why are you into the Garvey thing? Why are you into that Malcolm X thing? I said, because I know that we are slaves. And it's unfortunate that you don't see that. It's unfortunate that you're just going along to get along. I'm not going to be part of that function. I'm going to be a maverick, mover, and shaker. I'm going to be part of the 10% that stand up and notices that something's not right. That we have the illusion of inclusion. That we're not free. Well, the system, to answer your question, has to be brought down. It's too corrupt. It has to be brought down, and something else has to be built in place. If this point has gone too far, it's too corrupt. You can't negotiate with these individuals because they're evil. You see, you're not seeing what's really going on. You're not privy to what's happening behind the curtain. But there's an evil on this planet that is doing things. And they must be stopped. And because we go along and we don't notice it, we think it's not there until something really bad happens to you. Like your brother or sister disappears. Or there's an attack, a terrorist attack. And these things are actually part of the collective agreement. And the collective agreement means that something will happen to awaken the collective that you need to do something to change. It's an opportunity to awaken your consciousness to change. Because you are not seeing the subtle signs. It's like a spirit comes into your house and you hear a little rapture and you hear the, and you go, that's peculiar. Where is that sound coming from? That's peculiar. You may see a little orb and you go, honey, you see that orb? Yes, I do, dear. That's peculiar. Yes, it is, dear. It's not peculiar. But because you have not paid attention to those signs, then the spirit has to fully form in front of you and scare the shit out of you to the point of where you're like, holy shit, Mary, get your stuff. We're getting the hell out of here. Do you see that? Oh my God, yes I do. Yes I do. What do we do? We get the hell out of here. That's what we do. No, you don't get the hell out of there. The spirit just wants to talk to you, but you were not paying attention to the little signs. And that's the same metaphor that we can use for life, that it's throwing you signs that you need to change. You need to change. You need to become God man, God woman, because if you don't, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Here you go. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Look at this stuff. You have to see the signs. Oh, I'm sorry. It's my sound is scratchy. Yeah, that's what. Well, I'm broadcasting from Colombia, so it's probably the best internet connection I can get. What's up, sexy? So please. Now, don't get it twisted. Not every one of us is meant to be a revolutionary. And I'm not asking you to be a revolutionary. All I'm asking you is to realize that you have extraordinary powers that you can tap into. And to don't be satisfied with the way you are. Yeah, I've seen Oblivion. To be honest with you, I didn't like that film. There's other films that really show it in a better way. You know, Oblivion, I don't think got the message across in a way that the audience gets it. You know what I mean? So I don't think they really got it from that movie. think of other films that communicated that way. But thank you for bringing that up. At least people have started. And remember, you incarnate with a group of people. And those group of people may be depending upon you to awaken them. You understand? They may be waiting for you to help them and awaken. Because you all made a soul contract to go through a similar experience. For example, Shaquila, I hope I got the name right. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just trying to pronounce the name right. She made a soul contract to go through that situation with her friends. You understand? And she fulfilled the objective. So now there's no reason for her to stay on this plane of existence. Now she's going to incarnate into another life with a different destiny. Because she already fulfilled her destiny. So thank you all for tuning in. Again, don't forget to hit the like button and donate to the channel. I'll do some more broadcasts for you if the internet acts right. This is Qesankh Market for real son of activity. I think the beautiful God is still real. Until the next video.